This is Module 6 Case Study, Internet Use Violations for EDL 850 School Law at Fort Hays State University, Spring 2016, created by Lisa Burgess. Category 1, Problem Identification and Analysis. What do you know? In the case study, this particular case study is featured at Roosevelt High School. It is stated that Roosevelt High School is in an affluent area of a large city. The families in this particular city and school have secure financial means and high expectations. Parents are professionals such as doctors, lawyers, or partners in investment firms. Dr. Stephen Forbes has been the principal of Roosevelt High School for the past 9 years. He is well liked among the students, families, and the community members. Due to high expectations Dr. Forbes has for his staff, applying and getting hired at Roosevelt High School is very competitive. Ms. Walker is the newest teacher at Roosevelt High School. Ms. Walker teaches specialized science courses such as zoology, botany, and genetics. Upon being hired, Ms. Walker's intent was to establish a structured classroom focused on academics. Since she has been hired and taking her courses, students have experienced high levels of stress due to the demands of her challenging courses in combination to the structure of her classroom. Dr. Forbes has received numerous calls from parents concerned that their children will make their first low grade in high school due to Ms. Walker's class demands. Dr. Forbes has discussed techniques and strategies with Ms. Walker to reduce student stress and increase positive interactions with students. She hasn't successfully implemented his suggestions as of this far in the case. Ms. Walker checked her email over a long weekend break from school. She found an unidentified email that urged her to view a specific website for a personal message. When she logged onto the website, she was horrified to find a highly suggestive comments about her personal behaviors and critical comments about her classes using curse words, and a final comment on the website was, "Who wants Miss Walker to disappear?" Miss Walker immediately and tearfully called Dr. Forbes, reporting, "They've threatened to kill me, Dr. Forbes. What am I to do? I may not be safe alone in my apartment tonight." Dr. Forbes read the forwarded email from Miss Walker. He saw the webpage, and he called Miss Walker right back. Dr. Forbes told Miss Walker that he could understand her concerns, but sincerely believed the email and webpage was a prank. Dr. Forbes and Miss Walker discussed students that may be upset with her. She stated that one particular tech-savvy student may be the culprit due to his constant snide remarks and disruptive behavior while in her class. Dr. Forbes told Miss Walker that he would be printing copies of the email and website. Together they would be speaking with the student in question as well as some of his friends that may know some information. Dr. Forbes was also going to seek assistance from the district technologist to help determine where the email originated from. Information that we need to know for problem identification and analysis. We need to know if there had been any prior conferences with any students who had displayed negative or disruptive behaviors in her class, or if there had been conferences with the student in question. We also need to know if the email and website could be retaliation from a prior incident derived from teacher to students, such as failing grades, office referrals, or negative parent-teacher conferences. We also need to know the time and day the email was sent. If it was sent during the school hours, most likely we could determine the server it was sent off of. And lastly, we need to know the information the district technologist was able to provide. Identifying the problem. Based off of category 1A and B, the identified problem is that Ms. Walker is not a favored teacher among students in her specialty classes and their parents. She has received a threatening email in which the source of whom it was sent from is still unknown. She is not favored among her students and their parents due to the fact that she has high expectations and expects diligent and timely completion of her specialty classes and the coursework assigned. Her high expectations have led to many of her students feeling stressed. Her students are very privileged outside of school. They are given much materialistic and trendy items of value from their parents. This could be the reason they may not want or know how to work hard in such challenging classes or situations to earn the grades they deserve or want. They often whine and complain to their parents about Miss Walker's classes. The parents have made several complaints to the principal, Dr. Forbes. Dr. Forbes has tried to guide and help Miss Walker with some of the new practices and strategies in an attempt to balance out the stress level in her classes. However, Miss Walker has not attempted to implement any of the tips given from Dr. Forbes. Category 2, a proposed plan of action with appropriate strategies for implementation. The first plan of action would be to solve the mystery of the email and website. The second plan of action would be to provide Ms. Walker with opportunities for professional development in classroom management and the importance of building positive relationships with all stakeholders. The third plan of action would be to provide Ms. Walker with a mentor teacher who could strategize and help Ms. Walker with her daily planning and decision making. Being a new teacher can be very stressful, and having someone who can answer all questions and give feedback would be very helpful and beneficial for Ms. Walker. My first plan of action would be to solve the mystery of the email and the website. I would get any and all information from the district technologist prior to speaking with any students. This is to avoid any harassment and inappropriate teacher-to-student allegations and/or legal issues. Taking appropriate steps and actions in questioning students and also notifying the parents of questioning and conferencing. I would set new and review expectations of school rules, consequences, and policies, specifically bullying and harassment policies. I would try to move on from this situation as quickly as possible, as well as encourage Ms. Walker to do the same. Do not let this affect the entire year or your feelings towards students and parents. Having a positive yet professional relationship is the goal while we are educating students, even if we do not like them or may have done us harm. As a leader, how would I include the appropriate strategies to implement my plan? The second plan of action would be to provide Ms. Walker with opportunities for professional development in classroom management and the importance of building positive relationships with all stakeholders. I would sign Ms. Walker up for professional development over classroom management. While she is very educated and holds degrees well above her job title requirement, she still does not have the experience in knowing the difference in effective classroom management versus my way or the highway type of attitude. I would invite and encourage Ms. Walker to sporting events or non-required family engagement events. This would allow her the opportunities to see, speak, and to get to know her students and their families outside of the classroom. Seeing your students and their families outside of the classroom setting often gives new light to who they are and why they are the way they are. I feel like it creates empathy towards students and families, whether they are overprivileged or underprivileged. I would encourage her to continue to provide opportunities to Ms. Walker to grow professionally outside her classes and content. Examples would be to become a sponsor for school clubs, to take on lunch duty, or to even engage in coaching opportunities. The third plan of action would be to provide Ms. Walker with a mentor teacher who could strategize and help Ms. Walker with her daily planning and decision making. Being a new teacher can be very stressful, and having someone who can answer all questions and give feedback would be very helpful and beneficial for Ms. Walker. Having an assigned mentor teacher for Ms. Walker would allow her to share her lessons, course requirements, and assignments with the mentor teacher. This would allow the mentor teacher to provide feedback and guidance on their own experiences and what has been successful with the students and the families at Roosevelt High School. A mentor teacher is often a veteran teacher or a well-seasoned teacher who can help Ms. Walker implement strategies that were suggested from administration or data or content coaches. Suggestions from administration is often great feedback. However, it can be a gray area if you have no idea how to get it started in your classroom. A mentor teacher could assist in this area. A mentor teacher could aid Ms. Walker in her pacing guides, scope and sequence, and year-long and semester plans, so the students are given adequate time to study and complete the required coursework without feeling stressed or receive not desirable grades. Category 3, resolving the issues based on promoting the success of all students. The resolution for this particular case study is based on what is best for the students. The resolution for this case study, as well as keeping in mind what is best for the students, would be to make sure Ms. Walker feels safe in her job and life at Roosevelt High School, resolving and having complete and accurate investigation and documentation in regards to the threatening email and website. The resolution would also consist of investment and professional development of Ms. Walker and her relationships with all stakeholders. Category 4, Debriefing the problem. As I reflect on this case study and the problems presented, I find myself thinking how much guidance Ms. Walker needed as a new teacher, especially at the secondary education level, all while dealing with a very prominent community and very established and professional families. I remember those first few years of teaching so vividly. I remember going into those years very strong-willed and tough-minded. I remember professors and teachers whom I had worked many clinical hours under sharing with me that those first 2 to 3 years will set the tone of your entire career. I remember being in the same shoes as Ms. Walker and wanting to ensure that I established a structured classroom focused on academics like she had wanted to do in the case study. During the reading and response opportunities, I found myself feeling empathy for Ms. Walker and her students and families. As that young teacher living alone and being away from family, I felt and empathized with Ms. Walker in such a scary situation of dealing with an anonymous threat made towards her. I also felt and empathized for her students and families. I am a mom of 2, and when my oldest son comes home feeling stressed with the demands of school, projects, and homework, I understand his love and will to do well, and that has been interjected by the demands of high structure and demanding lessons or a teacher. I felt for the families and wanting something to be done about their child feeling overstretched, which, in my personal opinion, is not healthy at such a young age. School should be demanding, yet still fun. We as educators want to develop lifelong learners. When learning is no longer fun for students at any age, they check out. I know a lot of teachers who will not budge on their class requirements and will not take advice from administrators. I often question if these teachers are truly keeping the success of their students in mind and at heart. Overall, this case study, I really felt myself valuing the guidance I received those first 2 to 3 years of my teaching career. I value all the growth opportunities I was presented with. I value the administration and mentors I've had in my career thus far for believing in me as a young educator. It is how we grow to be veteran and well-seasoned teachers. I value those leaders for seeing my strengths and my areas for improvement. I value the positive feedback I have also received in regards of areas for improvement. I also value the students and families I have had each year. Through them, I've seen my own areas and need for new adaptations and revisions. I'm thankful and value all stakeholders I have encountered in my career. Through my own reflective practices, I am a better educator because of all of them. What issues still remain unresolved and open to further investigation? I feel that the main issue that was unresolved and left open was the ending of the case study. What was the final conclusion and end result of the threat investigation? Another issue that was left open was the question if there were any suspects that could have made the threat. Parents, colleagues, and even former boyfriends may all be questionable suspects, in addition to behavior students. An issue I would like to see investigated would be the compliance policy in the district and teacher's handbook. In my experiences, if an administrator makes suggestions to help you become a better educator or to help aid in dissolving or diffusing angry parents, you should probably take the advice and follow through if you would like to be welcomed back the following year.